Good morning, travelers. It is 3 o'clock in the morning. And for the past couple of nights, I've been having very, very strange dreams. So I'm going to show you. It's 3:03 in the morning. So that's why I'm looking all like I've been asleep, because I literally leaped out of bed. My cards. I've been having very, very strange dreams. And there is a disturbance in the collective. So, the other night, I dreamt that actually one of my guides shook me awake and said, wake up, they're here. And I was like, what? But the dream that I was having was I saw shadow figures like marching by. But the odd thing was the perspective was that I was like down below, like hiding, and they were walking by me so I could see. Like I was hiding from them and I could see them as they walked by, but they were like shadows. And just now, I had this really strange dream again of being chased. Now, y'all have been with me for a while, know that I don't normally have dream recall. So I'm going to pull some cards on this because something's not right. So let me turn the camera around. Wow. This card, the 9 of Suns. The Burning Tower. And the 6 of Moons. That's the 9 of Suns. There's something else strange here. Because I'm still, like, my brain's still half asleep. The 1 and the X, or the 10. The 10, the 5, and the 1. The 5 and the 1. That means something, but I don't know what. I tell you what, I'm going to take a little break, wash my face, and try to decipher this because something is not right. All right, so I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so I'm back. This is part 2 of this particular video. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around and show you the cards that I pulled. I am using the Lost Tarot of Nostradamus. And Edgar Cayce and Nostradamus had 2 of the most interesting charts that I have ever seen. Charts. So the 3 cards that I pulled is the 9 of Suns, or the 9 of Wands, the Burning Tower, and then the 6 of Moons. That's a quite interesting card. And this was based upon this whole, the connection or the combination of the dream where I had, where I was told, wake up, they're here, and the marching feet, and then me running from these marching feet. Now, this card and this card has come out over the election readings before. This is a new card. And I feel that what I'm being alerted to, and I say there's a disturbance in the collective because something is not right, that we are on the eve of the inauguration. And I don't think this is going to go the way people think it's going to go, or at least the way they are either trying to prepare for. Okay, I had somebody email me the other day, see, they didn't, you don't know what you're talking about, they haven't put the 25th Amendment on Donald Trump. Well, no, that's not true. They haven't legally instituted the 25th Amendment. Okay, if you go back and you read the 25th Amendment, what it's about and how it can be affected and put into place. Mike Pence operating as they keep calling him the de facto president. Okay, that means that informally there is a 25th Amendment in place on Donald Trump. So whether or not they've actually called it or actually done it or made it legal, okay, is completely irrelevant. It's not what's being said, it's what is being done that brings about that 25th Amendment. Okay, so now, I haven't turned the cards over since I took them over this morning. And so what I'm going to do now is to turn this card, pull one more card to see what's over the top of this. We have the Seven of Moons. Isn't that interesting? Okay. Now, my guides told me after I pulled these three cards, I went to wash my face so I could come back and do it. And they said, no, go back to sleep. So I went back to sleep and I got a couple of more hours of sleep. But here's what I got while I went back to sleep, because obviously they had something else to tell me. They gave me the name of Roanoke. And if I'm not mistaken, there's only one Roanoke, and I'm not sure if it's in Virginia or if it's in Maryland. I got the name Rochester. The only Rochester I know is upstate New York, Rochester. And then they gave me the phrase PSYOPs. Now, PSYOPs is a rather shadowy department in the military. And what they do, it's full of psychiatrists and psychologists and neurologists. And what they do is they study ways to get inside people's heads. It was very controversial back in the 60s and 70s because they were giving people acid to see if they could tap in remote viewing, psychic traveling, astral projection. All kinds of stuff goes on in the PSYOPs department. And PSYOPs is important when you are trying to figure out a way to weaken an enemy's defenses. You can do this by putting out messages. You can do this by, if you capture someone and you want to try to get them to tell you what they know. These are the people in the PSYOPs department that have techniques on how to do that. I think one of the most interesting techniques is the Erickson method of hypnotherapy, which is called conversational hypnotherapy. In other words, you are talking to people just like I'm talking to you, and you are literally able to hypnotize them and put them into a trance state. It is really quite a feat when you can find someone who's very, very good at it. So I came back with PSYOPs. And then the last thing they told me was that it's in the numbers. Now, the last thing I said to you before I went to bed, or before I shut the camera down, was I had a 1 and a 10, a 10, a 5, and a 1, and then a 5 and a 1. And so I kind of don't know what that means. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this down. 1, 10, 10, 5, 1, 5, 1. Well, I don't know if I'm supposed to add these numbers because it gives me 20, 10, 1, 2, 3. So, it could literally be any, the permutations are endless. So those numbers 1, 10, 10, 5, 1, 5, 1. I don't know what that means. And you guys know that I've been telling you that the date of January 20th, 2021 has been standing out in my mind for some reason. And I don't know why that is. So they're telling me it's in the numbers. Now, what I'm going to do is read the quatrains of these cards to see what they say. We start with the 9 of Suns. The keywords are attack, reassessment, delay, adjournment, engagement, frustration, stagnation, defensiveness. The reversed are obstacles, problems, delays, bad luck, sluggishness, and illness. However, the quatrain says accords and pacts will be broken, friendships will be undermined by discord. Well, we know that 45 has pretty much lost every friend he's had. I'm sure Mike Pence ain't talking to him. He's only probably talking to him just to get the necessary stuff. You know what I mean? He sent those people to kill Mike Pence. So accords and pacts are broken, and friendships will be undermined by discord. Then we come to this burning tower. Number 16. And this card has shown up before. Sudden and shocking change, clearing the path, the breaking down of old structures, cleansing energy. Again, we find the word reassessment, catharsis, and hubris. Denial, failings, poverty, loss, unforeseen events, catastrophe, cataclysm, and an obstacle to be faced. Now, this is the quatrain that everybody said pointed to 9/11. In the garden of the world near the new city, on the road of the hollow mountains. This is a prophetic reference of the attack on the Twin Towers in New York on September 11, 2001. And then they give their idea of why it was, the hubris of capitalism. Yeah. I'm going to see if I can find the full quatrain for that. But now I have 2 interesting cards that, as long as I've been doing these election readings, have never presented themselves before. I have the 6 of Moons and the 7 of Moons. And these are cup cards. Mutable energy. The divine world. Oh, wait. That's the 7. Whoa. And that's kind of scary. When 2 malignities of the scorpion conjoin, the great Lord is murdered in his room. Looking backwards, uncertain outcome, a sorrowful legacy, forgotten past, inheritance, gifts, strife, and vanity. Reversed, looking ahead, people and things from the past, false information, alienation, and living in the past. This is a card ruled by Scorpio. Essentially, this is a card about nostalgia, and it's often seen as an adult looking back to childhood. Sometimes the act of turning to the past shows us things that are disturbing or shocking. Things we remember, things we think we remember in one way often turn out to be very different in reality. When two malignities of the scorpion conjoin, the great lord is murdered in his room. But then I have this card. The divine world will be stricken from the sky. It will not be possible to go further forward. The divine word, not world, the divine word will be stricken from the sky. It will not be possible to go further forward. The keywords: flights of fancy, meditation, imagination, and the illusion of success. Reversed: false plans, desire, willpower, determination, and aspirations. Listen, I told you in the last reading that this situation was not over and that it was going to turn into, real terrorism. But I couldn't tell you what real terrorism meant because I've never experienced it and I don't know it at firsthand. But what you saw at the Capitol was simply, again, a dry run, so to speak. They first tried it in Michigan. I feel that the reference of the new city speaks to the place where 45 comes from. But to me, this also speaks to, again, a metaphorical idea of Trump Tower. His whole brand is on fire. Everything is burning and everything is collapsing. But also, honestly, people, I'm going to tell you that I feel that those 25,000 National Guard troops that have come to Washington, D.C., I feel that some of them are also involved in the insurrection. And I fear that there's going to be some kind of major attack. I don't know if it's going to be in Washington, D.C., that official looking building, the Capitol. I don't know if it's going to be in New York City. What I do know is that whatever this event is, this is literally going to be, in effect, the end of Donald Trump or 45 in terms of his political career, and perhaps even as someone who has power. Now, the interesting thing that has occurred is that there have only been two banks in the entire world that will continue to do business with him: Deutsche Bank and a small bank called Signature Bank. They closed his accounts, his business and his personal accounts. That means that the Trump brand has no place to put their money, right? Personally, for the family, and it covers everybody. So the kids, him, but also that the brand in which they've been making all of this money now no longer has a place to put their money. That doesn't mean that they may not be able to find another offshore country who's willing to take it. But I think that at this particular point in time, he's like poison. And I don't think a lot of people are going to touch him. You have those people out there who have no real moral center who may try to assist him. But no reputable company, I think, and I have to use that as an oxymoron because we know that sometimes companies are not necessarily reputable. They have name brand, but they're not necessarily reputable or have good reputations. Behind the scenes, we don't know what's happening. I also feel that this refers to both the Michigan event and what happened at the Capitol the other day. I feel that this is going to be something extremely serious, and it's going to be something, I think, that catches us completely by surprise. I have every faith that, the intelligence agencies, the local police departments and whatnot, they're doing their job. But the truth is, you can't plan for every eventuality. And there's always some group or some person known as the lone wolf, right, that can escape detection. Now, remember, the person that placed the 2 pipe bombs, they have no clue who that person is. And I feel that if that person is out there and is going to bring attention to himself, it's going to be around this inauguration. So I'm not going to say that January 20th is the actual date, but I do, that they're here in the marching figures. I feel that there's going to be some kind of, melee in which we're going to actually see some of those National Guard troops go the opposite direction. Additionally, 45 is wanting to give himself a military send-off. Whether or not they give this to him, I don't know. But at the same time, I feel the military and the police departments have been infiltrated. Now, infiltrated is not really the right word, but yeah. And it was funny to me to see some of the Caucasian people on the news talking about, I'm so shocked it's the police department. When you are from a person of color and you've lived in a community of color, we've always known that the Klan was in the police department, that the white supremacists were there. This is nothing new. It's just another way to control and get away with killing people of color. Think of George Floyd. How cavalier he looked with his knee on his neck and choking him to death, knowing that people were watching him because he felt untouchable. Okay? So I feel that this is telling us that this is going to be a more dangerous event than what is prepared. I don't care the numbers, how many people are, that could be a reference, that 110, 10-5, 151 could be a reference to the number of troops that have come to Washington. I'm not exactly sure. But I want you to keep an eye. And there's one other thing that came to me while I was sleeping. Back when I first heard of the QAnon people, and I was like, I don't know who the hell this Q person is, but, he's probably somebody sitting around on a computer making up stuff and laughing that he can get all these people to believe him and follow him. But then, as more information has come out about the Capitol event, that actual Congress people it's an inside job. It was an inside job. Make no mistake. And that some of the Congress people were helping. We even saw some of the Capitol Police taking pictures and selfies and wearing MAGA hats and opening doors and letting people in and walking them down the hallway. So the whole idea behind Q was he was telling people that he was someone who was high up in the government who had access to all of this information. Now that doesn't seem so crazy, like it's a person sitting around making up stuff. So I think that it's either one person or several people who are the Q person. And that information, something as security focused as how to move around and to find the offices of certain legislatures, that's not something that regular people know. You're not just going to know that, right? You're not just going to know that. So I want you to keep an eye on that as well. And moving forward, I think that we are here in America, because there was another thing that they kept telling me in my dream. They kept speaking about the nation and the people. And then I saw buffalo. Well, the first thing I thought was that they were speaking to me about Native Americans. I think the Navajo call themselves the nation. It might be the people. And there's another tribe that call themselves the people, okay? With the buffalo, this is synonymous with Native Americans. But at the same time, the nation, the people, and the buffalo are also terms that you can apply to America, right? America was known for the buffalo, right? We are the people. This is the nation. So there's something else going on that we don't know yet. And I think when we find out, it's going to be like, our minds are going to be blown. And so I feel here in America are at a real tipping point for what comes next. How do we move forward? You know, Jessica Adams said to me that I think she made this prediction over on her website, that she saw America being split, literally split into two countries. Okay, on one side we're gonna have Earth 1, and on the other side we're gonna have Earth 2 people. Okay, but it's almost going to be like the Civil War again, seceding from the Union. People out here in Texas are already talking about that crap. I'm gonna have to leave here because I can't live on Earth 2. I just can't, and I love Texas. I can't live on Earth 2. Really, I can't. And so I don't know what comes next, but this. And I don't know if these cards are actually telling me here that someone's going to be killed, and it could be someone high up. I don't know. Or if it's simply metaphorical that, you know, right there in the Oval Office, 45, as we know him as the president, as we know him as this TV personality, as we know him as this leader of this cult of people, if this speaks to the death of him in those senses, metaphorically. And so I wanted to go back to see if I could find, you know, I thought I ordered a book on Nostradamus with the full quatrains, but apparently I think it's still in my cart. So I'm gonna give you the quatrain number and you can look it up for yourself on this burning tower. The quatrain is quatrain century 1049, the couplet. In the garden of the world near the new city, on the road of the hollow mountain. Let me see if I can just pull it up quickly. Century 1049. I honestly feel that there's going to be some type of major terrorist event. Century 10 quatrain, hold on, 49. Let's see. Okay, hopefully I can get in here. Oh, really? Come on. They've just got them listed and I can't go directly to it. Is there a search? There's not even a search. Oh my God. Let me see if I can find it. Century 1074. Century 180. Oh, I'll be forever looking for that. Century 10. Quatrain 1049. You know, you're gonna have to look this up. Okay, here's century 10. So let me scroll down to see if I can find 49. Thank you, website, whoever you are. 49. Garden of the world near the new city, in the path of the hollowed mountains. It will be seized and plunged into the tub, forced to drink waters poisoned by sulfur. It will be seized and plunged into the tub, forced to drink waters poisoned by sulfur. In the path of the hollow mountains, it will be seized and plunged into the tub, forced to drink waters poisoned by sulfur. That's definitely a reference to some type of explosion. I don't care what anybody says. Okay? So that's the full quatrain for this. Now, I'm going to leave you with that. And I just had to share that with you. We are on the eve. I don't know if I'm going to be in a position to watch the inauguration, as I've got some things I have to do that particular day. And I haven't watched the news probably in a week because I've been really busy working. And so I'm going to leave you with that information, and just to watch, okay? Watch. And again, write down the name Roanoke, Rochester, PSYOPs, and remember that it is in the numbers. Okay? I don't know what that means. So until next time, namaste.